Hi guys, welcome back to my XVS guide. Now I'm gonna review Onion Knight Neo Vision. So let's begin from his stats. So like you can see that his stats is amazing, especially on the Brave Ship form, because if you take a look, his base attack stats is much higher compared to his normal form and other Neo Vision. Usually when you max a character you only get 360, 370, but this Brave Ship form gets 414 attack boost. Maybe you say it's not that important. Let me tell you that it is really important, especially on battle, because on battle if you manage to give him, let's say, 300% buff, you gonna get higher attack boost. And same for equipment, okay? Only 40 difference, but 40 times 4, 160 point. So it is important. But again, like you can see that on Brave Ship form, his defense and spirit are kinda crappy. Okay, so I think that's the cost, but it's okay. As long as you're able to protect him, you are good to go. And another thing unique about him is, I'm not sure about this, okay? He has 2 fatal damage protection, but both fatal damage triggered when health is above 1%. So I'm not sure whether it is stacked or not. So please leave it on the comment, tell me whether it is stuck or not. Okay, but if it is stacked, then it is pretty amazing. And he also gets 200% chain damage modifier and increased chain modifier for normal chain, so he can reach that maximum damage boost faster. Okay, so that's quite amazing, I must say. And the difference between normal and Brave Ship is the normal form is more geared toward defensive, because like you can see on the normal form, he has fire, ice, wind, earth resist plus 50%, has some ailments resist, but only one killer, undead killer, 150%. But on Brave Ship form, whoa, he doesn't have those elemental resist, but he gets 150% for insect, human, and undead. So defensive and offensive form. Enough about stats, now let's take a look on the normal form. So on normal form, he is absolute mirror of equity and Aurel Regener, and like you can see, the damage may be not that amazing, only 72 times, but there is a secret for this mirror of equity, which I will talk about that later. And another thing I don't like about the normal form is he doesn't have any imbue or imperil. For imbue it is not a problem because he is a true dual wield, but for imperil it is very big problem. That means he relies to other characters. Okay, and he also able to support your party with fire, water, wind, and earth resist buff, 80%, quite nice. But again, it is cooldown ability, and the cooldown is 6 turns, while the effects are only 4 turns. Okay, so be careful about that. And for buff, he is master to buff himself, 300% attack for himself, 200% facial ability rate, and 100 MP per turn, quite nice. And 200% accuracy, so this accuracy buff is insane. Okay, 200%, I don't think he can miss, unless of course the enemy use evasion buff, not evasion stats. And after 5 turns, he gonna has 50% damage mitigation permanent. But remember, you need to cast those. Okay, it is not passive. So is it good? No, yes, I must say good, but I don't think it is really that needed, because for 50% damage mitigation you can get it from your tank. And enough about that, now let's talk about Grandis. He has 3 Grandis ability. The first one, talk about Red. So this one, wow, this one is really good, but also bad at the same time. You can ignore this attack being a hybrid, because simply take a look on the attack stats, okay? Because even only attack, it already deals 128 times attack. So it deals 3 times, so that means about 380, yeah, about 380 times damage. Very insane. And I think maybe the how to use this one is simply cast this, not using triple cast, because if you use triple cast you can only cast this once. But I believe because he is true dual wield, he gonna cast it twice, because there is no warning on skill description. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm mistaken about this skill, okay? And for other grandes, it's more like support, and I don't think they are that useful. 50% physical accuracy, I don't think it is needed for today's standard, so I'm not sure about the future, but for now, you don't need to care about that accuracy buff. And for limit burst, it's also another 50% accuracy buff. And yeah, why I do care about 50% accuracy? Not sure. And for the damage, only 80 times. He doesn't have LB damage passive, so pretty mediocre damage. And it is 24 hits attack, so you need to have a copy to perfect chain this one. So enough about the normal form. Now let's take a look on the Brave Ship form. On Brave Ship form, he gets Aurel Ray and Stardust Ray, so the Mirror of Equity is gone. And another good thing about this Stardust Ray move is it also breaks all stats, 80%. So wow, he can also become a breaker. Very nice. And the same problem, he still doesn't have Imperil. Okay, and for Grandis ability, it becomes this. Okay, Stardust Ray Chain. It also deal amazing damage, 154 times damage. Nice. And same about the same Grandis ability like before. I mean the normal version. Okay, so you can still support your party even on your Brave Ship form. And the secret I talked about earlier is on this form. On this form, he has a skill called Level Up. So if you are veteran players, this is like Warrior of like Bartz abilities. Okay, so this can buff your stats greatly. 250% all stats cannot be dispelled. Lasts for entire battle. How's that not awesome? Okay, that's insane. But the main selling of this level up is it will increase damage modifier for your abilities. So if you remember, his Absolute Mirror of Equity only deals 72 times damage. But if you use this level up, I believe they are stackable. So if you use level up 2, level up 3, then you can get 23 times damage modifier to your Mirror of Equity. So your Mirror of Equity is unique. It is 4 times attack. So that means he gets 92 times damage modifier boost, which means 164 times damage per cast. How's that not insane? Remember, he is triple caster, so you can deal about 400, close to 500 times damage per turn. That's insane. I believe you can reach this damage after 4 turns. Okay, so pretty amazing. But again, remember that you can only use your Mirror of Equity on normal form. So revert back to that normal form after you cast this level up. And your Stardust Ray Chain is still good. Okay, it deals 96 times damage, not as high as your Mirror of Equity, but still pretty decent. But again, remember, if you want to become breaker, you need to stay on this Brave Ship form because his limit burst break 85%. So again, he can become your main breaker, which make him very good. And interesting thing about his limit burst is it decreased physical accuracy by 50%. So this is new on this game. So to be honest, I haven't tried this limit burst. So my question for you who have used it, does this limit burst work on trial? Because if this work on trial, then I must say, wow, he is goddamn OP. Because 50% accuracy reduction, that means 50% physical evasion, you can evade enemy attack, right? So this really nice, guys. Again, this is simply my assumption, okay? I'm not sure, I haven't tried this limit burst. So let me know if you have tried it. But if this works, wow, amazing. But even if this doesn't work, it is still perfectly good because 85% all stats break. Okay, so that's all for abilities. Now let's talk about equipment and partner. So for equipment, There is a little bit problem, especially on his normal form. Like you have seen before that his biggest damage is on normal form. I mean, if you don't care about killers, right? Because the mirror of equity damage after level up buff is quite insane. But the problem with your normal form is your equipment is limited. He only able to equip dagger, sword, and bow on normal form. Okay, so pay that in mind. Pay attention on that. Okay, and yeah, make sure your weapon match with your partner who able to imperil. Okay, he is dual wield, so it is not that big deal. Okay, so I must say for equipment it's pretty simple. You don't need to build his limit burst damage. Okay, simply focus on true dual wield and attack. For partner, this is really important because, like I have mentioned, he doesn't have imperil and imbue. For imbue, it's not a problem, but if you have characters like Summer, Voltra, Shoreline, Fina, and Daisy, they are really good to be paired with Onion Knight. Because, yes, for example, Summer, Voltra, they able to imbue light and imperil light element. Okay, so you don't need to worry about imbue and imperil. Same for Shoreline Fina, but it is for earth element. Okay, very nice. And if you, let's say, partner your Onion Knight with Awakened Dragon Axstar, simply match his weapon into ice element and you are good to go. Okay, very easy to use, I must say. Now, my conclusion for Onion Knight Neo Vision. I must say he is really interesting character. On offensive, he is pretty good. Okay, his damage modifier is insane. He can break enemy, so very slot efficient character. The only problem I hate about him is inability to imperil. But again, that can be solved if you use some characters which I have mentioned before. Okay, so he's perfectly good. And yes, another problem is if you want to deal as high damage as fast as possible, because like you can see before, he needs to be warm up. Okay, it is not like Karen Edel where you need insane amount of turns, but still you need to wait for a few turns, maybe like 4 turns to reach his maximum damage. Okay, and for the Trustmaster and STMR, I must say they are not bad, but they are also not good either. Okay, and for Trustmaster reward, it's only 30%. Sure, it increased both physical and magic, but 30% is simply too low. I prefer 50% for physical than this. Okay, and yes, true dual wield attack 50% is just ordinary, I must say, on today's standard. And for the STMR sword, it is non-elemental sword, so I think it's better to equip that dark vision. Okay, so I don't think it is that good, especially except you need the elemental resist. Okay, that's it for Trustmaster reward and STMR. And another thing I don't like is his vision card. I must say this is bad vision card. Maybe you disagree with me, but hear me out. Sure, it gives you 4 elemental resist, but only 20 to 30% maximum if you use Final Fantasy 3 characters, and the attack boost is simply too low. If you remember that, like Cloud Vision card, you only need to equip 1 weapon, and yes, they gives you better attack boost. But this one, wow, 15% for each weapon, so that means you need to equip 2 weapons to get maximum benefit for this card. That means this card is bad on true double hand characters. Okay, so that's all what I want to say about Onion Knight Neo Vision. Thank you very much for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more Final Fantasy Private XPS guide. Bye bye guys.